So what we're going to do now is an exercise called role storming. And what that's going to involve is I'm going to give you a fictional problem. I'm going to ask you to brainstorm some ideas around solving that problem and what kind of issues might come up around the problem. First of all, you're going to brainstorm as yourselves, and then I'm going to give you the chance to try out brainstorming using another identity. Okay? Now the problem is, it's 10 years in the future, there's a library, the manager is no longer on the premises, the manager is a virtual manager, far away, managing various other libraries as well, so he's no longer there. Okay, what kind of problems might arise from that and how might you help to solve them? So first of all, as yourselves, a brainstorming session. Is that clear?
So if your manager's not even in the country, for example, imagine if they're in a different country, if you've got problems with time zones.
Targets as well. I mean, where you stand with your manager. I mean, how does the manager know what targets to set, and how do you know what the manager expects?
How can you make sure that communication between departments, people within the hierarchy of the organisation is smooth?
Yeah, and then there's technical issues, aren't there? If something happens with the computer system that breaks down, the internet goes down, and your manager's the only one with the expertise to fix it.
Well, yeah, you've got a real problem.
Well done, everybody. Now we're going to move on to the second stage of role storming, where I'm going to ask each of you to take on, temporarily, the identity of another person. What I'd like you to do is think about a person that you know pretty well, who you respect, whose way of going about things you admire, and to try them on for size and really try and think about how that person would problem solve this particular problem. And I will ask you, in character, I will ask you each a question. Has anybody thought of somebody?
Yeah, I've got somebody in mind.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. I'd like you to answer it as that person, okay? So how do you see the world?
I see the world as being full of interesting people, full of a great group of people I can work with, help solve problems, work as a team, overcome challenges.
So that sounds like you've got a really good, clear idea of that person. Hang on to that and we're going to return to it. Okay. Do you have a person in mind?
Yes, I do actually.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your personality or attitude likely to be?
I'm an optimist, so wherever I go or when I meet new people, I always see the best in them, and that draws out the best of them, so it creates a really positive and productive working environment.
That all sounds really positive.
Yes.
Thank you. Hang on to that. Okay. And have you thought of somebody?
Okay, I'm going to use my ex-manager.
My question for you is, how would you, as this person, solve problems?
Okay, I would really pull the problem apart. I'd do it very analytically, so pull it apart so that you get into the nuts and bolts of the problem.
Thank you. So now, hanging on to those personas of that person that you've taken on, I'd like you to brainstorm again using the same problem and to see what comes from that, bringing in this extra element.
Well, I'd say it's a good challenge that, as a team, people can master.
Well, I'd say let's use all our ideas together. Let's kind of get as many brains working on it at once so we can solve it.
And I would like to go through the day of the manager or the day of the employee, so you can see step by step each issue or problem that you encounter.